of our 2 best-of-3s of the day decides who goes to Pro League.
Yeah.
That's how great it is.
Pretty big deal. And then again, and even if you lose it, you got a second chance.
Yeah.
So it's not all lost.
If you win here, you automatically qualify to Pro League. Obviously, you take that 8th spot away from Black Dragons. And then if you lose, you know what? You mentioned it. You can play against Pain Gaming, an arguably more difficult fight. And then, you see, maybe you can make your way into Pro League, which at that point would be completely deserved. Or if you lose, you know what? It's something. You still get number 2 in Challenger League. You get a decent chunk of cash and get to play again, confirmed, next season.
I guess the way to look at it is we have 2 matches today. Whoever wins either of those matches goes to
Pro League, basically.
It's done. Yeah. All right, so it's, of course, going to be the same operators. It's going to be the same bomb site, and we will finally be loading in. All right, so the setup looks like it's going to be very much, well, the same. I mean, nothing new is going to actually happen until we hit, what was it, 2 minutes 40 were about what the remake was called?
Yeah, they were pushing in from Small Tower at that point.
Yeah, so basically just a wait-and-see moment right now for GG and RDevilS. Now, the Valkyrie camera setups looks like we have some information prioritizing on the main lobby. So, based on the fact that we have information priority on main lobby, for defense of the top floor, I'm guessing that they're going to be relying on some roamers and looking for late flanks on a master take.
Yeah, either that or, focusing as much as possible on kitchen, just in case there's a push from there. Now, you play in kitchen, you still have to hold off meeting, or you tend to sacrifice the players that are in there. I guess Plush is going for a spawn peek here early on, or maybe a crossover.
Kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, if it gets droned out, it's a free kill for the attack. But also, if nobody checks it, then it's a free kill for defense. So, yeah, it's a bit of a risk-reward situation.
All right, we'll see the same setup here from Aconite downstairs in the kitchen. He also has Miracle to help him out in the bathroom. No rotation hole being opened between these 2 positions. So there you go. He's just going to move in using the hallway. And so far, so calm. It's RDevilS trying to open up from the showers. They use the thermite to open things up here. You need that white stairs control.
Yeah, and you can see they've pretty much accomplished right stairs control at the bottom, but they've got to contend with Jaeger sitting at the top. And it's not going to be an easy fight, but downstairs, we've got Vitz looking for the feet of the Valkyrie, who is pushed into the hallway. That's a lot of damage coming out from the 5.52 Commando, the higher damage, harder punching rifle that the IQ has access to.
And just Miracle trying to play the close angle here. He'll refrag, actually. Alpha from the side comes in and takes down Vitz. Unfortunately, this gave a lot of time for the Legion to rotate back, and now Middy's all on his own in the showers. Will have to fall back. In the meantime, the rest of his team are trying to push in from the opposite end of the map. And in the meantime, it's the Legion as well that has taken control of the attic.
So all of the ways that RDevilS are currently trying to address this bomb site are in no way debilitating to the defense. There's nothing that RDevilS are doing to push the defense into an uncomfortable position. They have managed to get 1 kill, though. Miracle goes down to VNX. So the Valkyrie, who had been lit up previously in the round, finally eliminated. But only a minute left for the attack, so it's a very late frag. And still, no serious pressure being felt onto this hold.
Interestingly enough, the Jackal has not... There we go. He uses his first Inox, and it does spot the Jaeger of Plush. You know now he's in white stairs, and we'll move back. There's soft near window as well that can be used for information if there is a generator position push. Won't be the case here just yet. This is really starting to count down. There's not much time here for RDevilS to try and push in as they clear into the armory. They still have info on the Jaeger as the final tick comes in, but they've taken a bit of damage and they'll have to move into the site. At least they won't have to worry about a bandit. They throw in fire to the opposite end here. Try to smoke out the mirror window, go for the push. Velvet, more rounds being shot in as the Brow will go in for the quick plant. More EMPs being thrown into the back as Mitty will land 1 on a Plush. Alpha, though, coming in from the back. Can he stop it? Yes, he can, but no. The Diffuser's already down on the floor. Aconite will turn this into a 1v3, but it's all on VNX, and Alpha will go in and get the final one. Nobody watching the flank, and the Legion of Alpha coming in from the attic will save the round for Guidance.
What a round from Alpha. Perfect position, perfect timing, perfect use of that impact grenade to catch the attackers off guard. All in all, the attack was very slow, very methodical. thought out. They were attempting to isolate a position to plant the diffuser. They were, for the most part, successful, but they left nobody to watch their flank. And somebody needs to pay attention to the soft attic wall right next to your diffuse plant. Unfortunately, was not the case for Red Devils, and fortunately for GG, they were able to take that because of the oversight that Red Devils had there. But I gotta say, all in all, I would put the blame of that round at the feet of the slow attack that Red Devils had at the very beginning. Yep. They were opening up a lot of angles, but none of them in any way influenced the site or the hold that was positioned on the site, or even below the site. We're thermiting from lockers to white stairs, and they did nothing with that. I'm just confused. They didn't even sit there to cut off rotation late.
Yeah, because they lost the first play, and they're like, you know what? Let's just not go through that. The fact that it actually got the plant down is the surprising bit.
Yeah, true.
You know, just running in and going for it, you know, all Hail Mary, it somehow worked out. But obviously at that point, you're so focused on players from the bunks attacking you that no one's watching the rotation from the Legion, and it ends up in a disastrous end to the round. This time, though, Guidance will go to Kitchen. And we'll get to see how this one is played, as there's quite a few strats that are revolving this. We don't usually get to see the site.
Yeah, so usually what happens on Oregon is one team, or both teams, can't defend one of the two default sites to save their lives, and we see the two default sites as a result be the only ones played. But in the off chance that there is a team that can defend both of the default sites, we usually see Tower or Kitchen, depending on that team's preference. Here, as a secondary site, Kitchen, just a bit odd. You don't, it's just, yeah, it's odd. There's nothing else to say about it. So the setup here from Guidance Gaming is quite interesting. I like it. Vid's going for the repel that will cut off rotation inside of lockers. In fact, all the way through the hallway, because that wall is open. And it's going to be a very powerful spot, but I'm sure that Guidance are aware of it and will try to avoid peeking the angle. Of course, the emphasis being placed on lockers, that makes sense. We've seen this a lot. You need to control lockers as a defense in order to hold the A bomb site because of that indestructible wall.
And that's the big problem now, is that since there was no bandit or no mute being used from Guidance in tandem with the castle, they end up losing the site, or at least the entry into the site, very quickly.
Right, so default is available to the attack now, but the tricky thing is that they have to deal with lockers before they can plant in default, because if they don't, then they're going to be flanked by the Ela. On top of that, you've got a Mira, you've got an Echo. There are tools that the defense can use to deny a default plant, despite that indestructible wall being so powerful for the attack. Because of that, you see Red Devils not getting ahead of themselves, not rushing into this plant, because they know it's not as free as it seems. Even though they have a set of smokes and firebolts, it's not going to be easy. Abreu gets the first frag of the round onto Plush, and that's a really good start for Red Devils.
Yeah, Alpha just goes on for the flank, and there's nobody outside of Kitchen. He will get detected, and he'll have to fall back on to the top floor here. Miracle will get one in the Ela, but quickly refragged by Midi on the Buck.
And you could see the Yokai drone going to be instrumental in not only gathering information, but also denying the plant, especially considering the Ela is down. That was a waste of an Echo charge and a really ill-conceived peek from Echo Knight. I have no idea what he was attempting to do there. Alpha will deny the defuse plant, though. Midi takes down Highs, leaving Alpha the last player on GG, and he will be finished off by Vitz. It seems if Alpha isn't doing it, there is no fragging on the Guidance Gaming side of things. On the other hand, Red Devils will be successful in collapsing on that site.
Yeah, and I want to blame it on a few things, not just the Echo peeking that position. Maybe he was in a place where, you know what, I'm gonna get pushed by the side from the side anyways. I'm just gonna attempt to go for a fight. Unfortunately, using the yokai at distance like that and then going in for a kill doesn't really work out. There was no bandit, even though there was two shields that are in play. Nobody ran a bandit, nobody ran a mute. You couldn't really deny anything. You had a castle as well to slow things down from the kitchen doorway, which would have made things a lot easier to at least drain out as much time as possible, and forcing the attacking side of Red Devils to go upstairs where they can be trapped. There's a lot of things that you could use to slow down your opponents that were not really put in play here.
Yeah, the problem for Guidance Gaming there is a really simple one for me. They were going for frags instead of trying to play the objective. So what is Red Devils attempting to do. They're trying to isolate the default plant spot and plant that diffuser. Go figure. It's a kitchen defense. That's what you would do on attack. You go for junk tower, you open the wall, you smoke, and you plant. Okay, great. What do you do to respond to that? You play an Ela inside of lockers. It's going to be one of your hard disrupts to that plant. It's going to be one of the best ways to deny a diffuse plant behind default wall. But you don't just rush your Ela out whenever you think that they're going for a diffuse plant. You use your yokai drones, which are really perfectly positioned, call out the diffuse plant attempt, and then push the Ela out. It seemed like the Ela went for a kill and got refragged. Enough said. After that refrag happened, there was nobody playing in lockers. Well, that's one layer of your defense gone. What happened after that was the Echo tried to go for kills again. A huge mistake from Guidance Gaming. Your Echo needs to use the yokai drone to deny the diffuse plant, and then once your yokai drones are gone, then you can peek and try and deny it with your gun. That's fine. But there was a lot of just, hey, can I kill this guy? I'm from Guidance Gaming, and the answer from Red Devils was, no, you can't. And also, hey, I guess we don't need to plant the diffuser anymore because the defenders are throwing themselves at us.
Yeah, basically, it's just too frag heavy.
Yeah.
But we go into round 3 here, and Vitz in the meantime just looking around for any utility that was thrown out. Of course, the Valkyrie is in play, so you have to worry about that. Guidance went for pretty heavy early game on the top floor, even for peeks through the lobby. Alpha, interestingly enough, on the dock is also bringing a bulletproof camera. I have no idea where he set it, but he does have it in play. In the meantime, it's just VNX trying to come in here for the face check, and he finds Alpha pretty darn easily. And here's the thing. The wall into meeting has been pre-opened by the defense. Like, hey, you know what? You can have it. It's free real estate.
We're back to that, but it's true. I mean, you're right. It's basically a free angle established for the attackers. Midi's going to take down Miracle. So two very aggressive defenders die. A third very... What are you doing, Plush? Why would you vault that? You have a mirror window. Take the advantage that you have established for yourself. 3 defenders for free to Red Devils. And now a 4th as he attempts to peek the drop down. The only defender even remotely close to a standard hold position. The Mira will finally die to the Thermite peeking through the drop down. 4 of the 5, if you say, okay.
Technically all of them, actually.
Technically all of them, but I'm going to be generous to the Mira and say 4 of the 5 defenders there were way out of position in just questionable, at least, spots, and that's why they died.
And here's the thing. This is Michael in a good mood. Oh, man. if he wasn't, holy crap.
Why is your dog?
I completely agree. Why is he there? Sure, okay, you opened the wall into meeting, so you can have him rotate right there.
Okay, I get that idea, but also no.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason why it doesn't happen. Because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I don't know.
It's very questionable decisions across the board made by Guidance Gaming. And Red Devils are like, okay, thanks.
The Legion vaulting into the pantry when he already had the mirror. Why?
He must have heard the drone, like the getting on cameras noise from the IQ. But I'm gonna tell you what that is. Okay, that's called a bait, and it was very successful for
Masterfully
Vitz.
done.
Very well done for Vitz. What should have happened there is the Legion should have been like, oh yeah, he's trying to bait me, and then stayed on the mirror window, because let me tell you, if you stay on the mirror window, you are in the driver's seat as a defender, and he cannot do anything about it because they do not have a Twitch or a Hibana because Hibana's banned. So let's recap that round. Say the wall into meeting was reinforced. Say the dock was playing by the stage, and the Legion stayed on the mirror window. What happened there is the attackers would eventually get control of the attic, but it would have taken them some time. And let's say you leave your attic player up there, and he just fights tooth and nail to hold on to it. Then it would take even more time. Then you progressively fall your defenders back one at a time instead of pushing through the mirror window, pushing through the meeting hall wall into the garage. Your defenders can fall off as they start feeling pressured, and when they have a 5 versus 5 on the site with 30 seconds left, you have the advantage. But no, they gave everything away. I feel like I'm hitting on it too hard. We're into the next round now. Alpha's taking some damage. He's being droned out from tower.
Yep. So Velvet is just going to continue his drone into the meeting hall as they'll find at least one of the players. Probably has already gotten information on the back. Midi will try to come in, but Miracle actually connects with the C4. Advantage here for Guidance Gaming as they take down the IQ, which is actually a pretty important pick here, considering the fact that there's Valkyrie, Lesion, and an Echo in play.
Yeah, definitely a really good pick there for Guidance Gaming. Finally, a good start. And as Velvet attempts to open up and finally finishes opening up the meeting hall wall, he will be getting marks onto the player just behind Sandbags. And that's a really good position for Velvet to be in. He can lock down that defender, and if he's patient enough, get a kill as the defender eventually attempts to rotate. But it doesn't look like that player wants to move at all. Midi fighting in the attic. This is his second time winning this fight against Miracle. So despite Miracle getting a kill earlier, he will eventually die to the Buck. And again, that's 2 rounds in a row that has happened.
Now Plush coming in here from the side is, oddly enough, the lobby is the only place that is uncontested right now by RDevilS. Now they have one player in garage, and Midi of course is on top. Alpha has impact grenades. They'll have to go for the fight against Midi. And there you go, easy pick on the Buck. Great use of his utility. Just sits down, and this forces Velvet up to try and go for this fight. And unfortunately for Velvet, this is actually more difficult than it might seem if you're playing on glass.
Yeah, not an easy weapon to wield without the advantage of the smoke, though. Alpha is on low HP. He will die to 1 shot from that glass rifle. Highs does manage to take down a Brute, so it's a good fight for Guidance so far. RDevilS really on the back foot. They will start to use their EMPs to, I don't know, possibly distract their opponent. And VNX not in a great position. He's going to hear the rip of the C4 and try to stay clear of the hallway. And high C4 will take down Velvet. Well placed from the Mira, and a follow-up frag onto VNX, who attempts to rush the Mira window because the smoke was still there. Not successful. Guidance Gaming take their second round, and we go 2-2.
Yeah, great 3K there from the Mira, holding off the entire angle on their own. And you know, this is sometimes used by a lot of Mira players, is that if you're setting up a meeting or a bathroom window, what you'll do is hold on to the second one in your back pocket if you're playing on the site, and just you wait. If the attack's coming from the lobby side, then you set up your second Mira window by the lobby. If it's coming from tower side, then you set it up, obviously looking from that angle from the laundry stock. So it's reactive Mira plays. It only takes you like 3 or 4 seconds to set up that Mira window. Good play, a lot of information being set, and the good thing is you didn't reinforce the sidewall, which meant that he could very quickly go for frags.
So we get to see the top floor as the next defense, and this of course was the first site defended by GG, by Guidance Gaming, and they were successful here. Now, the way that RDevilS tried to address it was a little bit confusing. They were pushing their way in from the west, as we so often see happen, but they didn't push kitchen. They pushed into lockers, opened the lockers wall, and then rotated to...
They just gave up. That's the thing.
They rotated to a master take, and then they got the defuse plant down, thanks to the smoke placement, but they died because they weren't watching their flank.
Yep.
It was a very confusing take. And it came down to the final seconds, and I think ultimately that's what hurt RDevilS, is they were trying to push in because they didn't have much time.
They're focused.
And they got distracted.
Yeah, they got focused on one position, and you know, that's not a great spot to be in. As we mentioned, the Lesion during the rounds, like, you know what, he's just gonna fall back and sit in attic now, and then he just sat in attic waiting for people to pop in, and that's when he came in and popped heads, and that was all she wrote.
That was also 4K from Alpha in that first round last time that Guidance Gaming were defending this top floor. So it is important to note that, because it's possible that if Guidance Gaming don't have Alpha pop off this round, it might be a very different story. All things considered, RDevilS, while it did come down to the Razor's Edge, they managed to get a defuse plant.
Yep.
They still lost it, but they did get that defuse plant, and it's possible if the Lesion of Alpha were not fragging out, it might have been a different story. RDevilS might have taken that round.
Now, what I'm interested in seeing here is, will RDevilS use their IQ to walk in and destroy the bandit batteries and go for your standard bedroom closet take? Because, you know, it is proven that it works very consistently.
It's the more reliable take.
Yes, you know, you have the IQ coming in, she clears in from below, also has the Buck just in case, and in this case, they also have the Thatcher. So it's a big help. On top of that, the wall's already open. Didn't have to deal with anything because
Yeah.
there was no bandit that was trying to trick or do any sort of trickery like that. A lot of teams, what they'll do is not even bring the Thatcher, rely on the IQ plus a Zofia combo to deal with this, and then you have a bit more firepower to play with.
We've seen a strangely low amount of Zofia play in this match. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't think she was even played once.
She's one of the top played operators in all of Pro League. I mean, not just LATAM, but LATAM, NA, EU, across the board.
She's great. She does everything.
So, long angle being played from midi into the kitchen. Grenade to clear out the barbed wire means he's very likely going to go for a push following that grenade. He's a little bit cautious. Rightfully so. He does have an opponent just inside a kitchen who will be peeking onto him, and a little bit of damage taken, none given back. It's well done to the Mira, spraying wildly on that angle. Buck has established his own angle, and it's a little bit wider than usual. The peaks are really not going Midi's favor as Aconite manages to land the headshot. Plush will also take down a Brew, so here we go. Guidance Gaming yet again on this top floor fragging out. A very ballsy peek from Highs will do quite a lot of damage to Vitz, and the follow-up onto VNX. A double for Highs. Nice aim there. Velvet, the last attacker, and he has managed to get one, but he will not get two. Highs gets three. Guidance Gaming, 3-2, their favor as we move to the second half.
The odd thing is, there were attackers in the hallway by that point.
I mean, they were all over the place.
Yeah, that's the thing that we're struggling to kind of like gather around, because obviously we don't get to see everything that's happening all the time. So some things just kind of pop up there, and what popped up was just an attacker in the hallway moving in to try and secure kills. And that's where the IQ vaulted in, wasn't really paying attention to the bandit on the site. It just seems that there's no droning, there's no information being gathered in real time, which means all the players are going in for face checks or droning themselves in and having no information on the positions that are quickly being rotated out by the defenders, and that's not a great spot to be in.
You know, another thing that's really confusing to me, where were the smokes from Glass? What was going on? Why was he pushing hallway when you could have him push generator? You push him, okay, I get it. Hallway is a position where you can cut off rotation from dorms. I understand that. But you can do the very same thing from inside of generator. And if you have smoke cover, then you, as the Glass, and you use your advantage of being able to see through smokes to win all of the fights on all of the rotations, not just dorms. Top of White Stairs, by the west window where Highs was playing, where he got a 3K, through into dorms, not just cutting it off, not just cutting off the rotation from dorms, but you could see into dorms. Bad positioning from the Glass, bad use of the smoke from the Glass. On top of that, there wasn't really much added to the Glass. Where were his extra smokes? Why aren't we playing an operator that can help him with those smokes? Where is that? You know, and why do we have so many players on attack spread so far and few between? I mean, Midi attacking from the bottom floor. I think what he was trying to do was he was attempting to cut off rotation to the main lobby to deny a late flank. I get that, but he was way too aggressive on that angle, not patient enough. Instead of just holding it, he was strafing wildly. He opened the angle up and made it easier for his opponent to see him without using the advantage that would give him as well. So it's just a very confusing round all in all from Red Devils.
Overall, I look at this operator setup as well on the attack, and I see Guidance kind of have it all on lockdown when it comes to at least what operators require for this. But it seems like both teams are going to be running a similar way in the meeting hall. I don't know if that wall was pre-opened by the defense. I mean, at some point we can look at it and see the size of the hole, and no, this is just made by the attackers to walk on in. So
could have been the Glass.
Yeah, they just walk in, they have control of meeting, it's completely clear, there's a lot of time left here, and Guidance are just looking pretty. They go through the checklist pretty easily. Now they have to use Thermite though and open things up. Other than that, it's all Gucci.
I don't see any signal disruptors on the desk.
I think they were all taken down by the EMP, or they weren't
even
even
very
set
likely.
up.
Yeah,
I don't know if
it's probably likely the Thatcher got it earlier. Just didn't hear the EMP myself. The Thermite charge will detonate, and that's the main lobby drop open. They will also open up box drop, which is an interesting choice. Instead of going for the hallway, they go for the drop down nearer to B. So what they can do is they can kill any players playing where VNX, Velvet, and Abru are all sitting right now, immediately after dropping through that drop down. So that's in theory a really good open for the attack.
But this is the thing, Guidance have the Capitao, which, you know, we talked about it for a few minutes before. Those crossbow bolts, deadly. And that's exactly where the first one will be set. And now the second one as well will deny information from the mirror window. Velvet will rip open the C4, but Miracle is ready. He gets one of his teammates, this VNX on the floor, to refrag from Midi with the MP5, but the Fuser will be recovered here, and Velvet just peeks around and gets the kill. There's no retaliation here as the Capitao is still upstairs. I don't know if he's even used all of his utility. Somehow, this whole positioning from Guidance is just gone to bed. They haven't really been able to do much with it after the initial few seconds in the entry. Now the Capitao is still in school. Alpha holding the back, and they'll just have to go for a quick push here as Alpha will drop in. He finds one. Can he find the second one? No, he cannot. It's Vitz ready on the Jaeger, though. Now one more lost. Plush will get shot down. It turns to 1v1, though, with 10 seconds on the clock, and Midi saving the day here from behind the mirror window, and that's how you do it. Don't peek. Get the information first, then go for the shot.
Yeah, use the advantage that you have set up for yourself. Well done there to the defense. I gotta be honest, I saw that glass shot onto the C4 from the mute, from Miracle, and I thought to myself, Miracle's the miracle maker.
Yeah.
He hit the mute, he denied the denial of the defuse plant, and I expected from there the defuse plant to go down and Guidance Gaming to go to 4-2 their favor. But for some reason, the defuse plant didn't go down. And after it didn't go down, after it was denied, if I'm not mistaken, by Velvet, there was no response from Guidance Gaming, or pardon me, from Guidance Gaming. They didn't have anything in a way of a backup to their first attempt at the defuse plant. A little bit confusing. They lost all of their teeth as soon as one thing went wrong, and that's just it's unfortunate.
I think that shows lack of experience.
Yes.
It's just when you have a decent chunk of experience playing in professional play, then once you have a strategy, you commit to it. Sometimes it'll go wrong, but at least you commit to it, so you go through a certain checklist, or you're able to adapt mid-round without having too many losses because you didn't overexpose yourself.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if it goes wrong, you should be able to adapt. You should be able to change the strategy on the fly. As soon as your initial diffuse planter dies, you should have some way to recover from that. And
they had time.
They had time. They just, well, they didn't have any way to recover. And I know they had 2 sets of smokes there, but they used them really poorly. I'm not sure why the smoke cover didn't last a little bit longer. They could have paced them better. If they had been able to do that, it's very likely would have seen a diffuse plant. Fortunately for Guidance Gaming, or rather Red Devils, not the case. And because of that, or actually, no. I got it right the first time. Guidance Gaming. Unfortunately for Guidance Gaming, not the case. They weren't able to recover, and Red Devils took the round. Now, top floor defense because of a successful basement defense. So here we go. This is much more standard from Red Devils compared to what we saw from Guidance.
Yeah, Vitz, though, is hanging out around tower. So if he doesn't get anything early on, he will at least have a long angle. And we saw this when Devils were on the attack, when they got pushed around and bullied by the Legion at the end of the round. It might be happening this time here if Guidance Gaming are unable to clean him out. Highs, in the meantime, is looking through the window, as they should have some sort of drone information on player in the back. Vitz lining up, trying to get some info through their own utility here on the defense, and he might just go for long peeks. Not a big fan of using laser sight if you're going to peek long angles.
I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but you can also give away your angle if you're putting your crosshair exactly where you're peeking. So if you're like playing from tower to where Miracle is playing in Armory Hallway, and they see the laser sight on the floor, they're gonna be like, "Oh, hey, maybe we shouldn't, peek into that."
Yeah. Also, PDW-9.
I mean, it's a little bit different, but I personally prefer this gun to the C70.
Really?
Yeah, I definitely would use the PDW-9 over the C70.
You are the headshot machine.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, it's a one-shot headshot game, man. It's got a high rate of fire. It's got a lot of bullets. So you can clear out a lot of room with that gun. And yeah, I mean, I guess it's preference.
It's just different play styles, for sure. But here we go. The Jackal's going to move in. He's used one of his Inox, and he will try to find the second. I guess there's a mute jammer here that's jamming him, being able to use the utility, but he can fall back and actually have the angle. In the meantime, it's Vitz, the Jaeger. he'll get one, and that's the Ash eliminated. I'll have to worry about that angle as now we get to the last minute of this 7th round. Aconite still on the outside, trying to find it. Oof! Nails the headshot on a Velvet. This should open things up here as the mirror has been taken out. Means one player in the back is no longer available, and a C4 does out of play.
That was quite a long shot there from the Thermite of Aconite. Miracle pushing his way up into the attic. He will finally get the Inox onto his opponent, who is just below him. Now able to open up the drop down. He might be able to put some pressure onto his that very same opponent. Midi will take down Highs though, so here comes the actual push following that kill. Guidance Gaming definitely at the disadvantage here. One man down, but they still have potential for a recovery. Midi caught in a reload by Miracle, and a double for Miracle. Headshots all. Brew has to come off of his drone, but no, Miracle with a third. So low on HP, but the damage is done. Vidi now in a 1 versus 3, and he will trade with Plush. Guidance Gaming take the round.
Beautiful play with the PDW9, using the smokes and pushing through them. It's a very Stewie 2K way of doing things, I guess.
What's up, friend?
Yeah. Just let's push through the smoke. And this is the thing. When attackers use smoke, it's to basically shut down a line of sight from defenders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very clear and open to understand. However, in that position, what happened is I'm just going to use that smoke to push in because my opponents are so focused on tagging my teammate who's busy planting in generator that I can basically just walk in and get free kills. And that's exactly what happened. They were forcing the rotation back from the Jaeger, and, you know, it took a while, but that's all the time that they needed. You saw immediately Guidance Gaming rotating in. The instant they had hold of the bedrooms, they pushed into Kid's dorm and went for a very safe plant from there, where they did not have to worry about any crossfire and just sacrificed one of the players, I believe the Capitao there in the back, and that was it. It's brilliant play for Guidance, and that's the adaptation that we are looking for. But remind you again, at 4-3, is that this can go into overtime. If it's tied 5-5, we'll have our best of 3 overtime tiebreak, and it's a best of 3 total for this matchup. So we have 3 maps to play on. It's not your standard Pro League play. These are basically your, as you put it, your Challenger League finals, where it's kind of your own LAN, even though it's online.
Yeah, this is a big deal. Like as we've discussed many times before, this is make it or break it for both of these teams. They worked so hard to get here, and now they really need to see success. Okay, top floor defense now. Now, following an unsuccessful attempt. We have to admit, Miracle got a little bit lucky in that last round when he was successful. I mean, he managed to catch Midi in the middle of a reload, who would have been his direct counter at the edge of those smokes. And following that, the communication seemed to be a little bit off on Red Devil's side, which allowed for Miracle to get the double kill. The third one was the Echo, who had just come off of his drones and was not able to establish himself in a position to fight back. So Miracle really working his namesake, and Highs takes down Vitz early in this round, who had in the previous round been the very last defender left alive.
It's a good start here for Guidance, catching that one player off guard. They won't have to worry about him later on in the round, as you mentioned. He was the last one alive, and he's the one that did damage earlier on in the round, able to escape through Meeting Hall, playing in the tower as well. Good pickoff. Now they'll have to worry about the other 4. However, a bit of damage has already been done to Midi, but there is a lot of time here from Guidance Gaming to play things to their advantage, and they're already in the master bedroom. At least they have taken control of that position and the hallway. In the meantime, Red Devil's just sitting pretty, and they might just go for a run out here against the Ash. It would be unfortunate if that would happen, but Velvet's trying to play the close angle here against them, trying to find maybe a position on the Ash. Won't be the case, though. That's 1 for the defense. Actually, 2 for the defense. This is a quick double frag, and a third one here for the Thermite. The Fragmite is going all in, and Midi's the last man alive on the Legion. I'll have to walk in, though, from the white stairs. Mirror window's already been opened here to fire against him. He gets a bit of damage done on his opponents, but there's still not much to protect him. He'll get 1. That's now Aconite removed. A lot of time to play with, but Alpha walking in from the side, using the advantage of his 3-speed Ash. And there you go, quick peek, bam, you're dead. And the round is now all Guidance. So 1 round, and they take this first map.
Yeah, that was pretty... I mean, swift is the word I would use to describe that collapse onto dorms. Well done to Guidance for coming in so quickly. And I really got to appreciate that they did it as a unit. You know, usually when we see rushes like that happen from less experienced teams, what ends up transpiring is that one person will push in, the second will push in, and one by one they will die. But not so here. While Red Devils were able to fight back, while the Anchors were able to do some work, there were plenty of plenty of attackers stacked on top of each other who were able to refrag their teammates and keep control of dorms, allowing for that eventual defuse plant. So massive props to Guidance Gaming.
All right, now we'll go to the bottom side here in the basement with Velvet. Of course, on the Mira, we'll have the Doc being played yet again, and I really hope that this time we get to see him in the tower playing those stairs, since it's a very powerful position to have a long angle down into the lobby. The problem is both teams have kind of been focused on attacking from the tower side. We've seen one push happening a couple of rounds ago from Guidance down into the bottom floor in the basement. It did not work, and their adaptation is let's get the Ying. So we'll see how that changes things.
Yep. It may change things quite substantially. We've got a lot of good tools on Red Devils to deny the defuse plant, but as we've seen in the past, sometimes they're not used properly. It's a little bit of a hit and miss type deal often. The Ying, of course, being in play is, I think that's the first time we're seeing her played in this match. And she's been left unbanned, so at any point she could have been utilized, but Red Devils weren't in a position to, I guess they didn't think she was necessary. Guidance Gaming, though, sees that she is available and will bring her out. Though that does mean there is no glass, which has been the primary, I think, you know, form of disruption used by the attack. Disruption, the word I'm gonna use to describe that. And Ying is a little bit different, but can work the same wonders.
High is coming in from the garage. Miracle rotating in from construction.
I think it's going to be a construction push.
It's possible.
I mean, we haven't really seen many successful attacks in the lobby. I suppose it makes sense.
We haven't really seen too many successful attacks in general in the basement. So
that's true. Yeah. I mean, it's actually been a pretty even match in terms of attacker defender, but the basement has been very defense sided thus far. We've only seen it twice, and it's been a defense for both times. Once for Guidance Gaming, once for Red Devils. So this is technically, I guess, a way around that should favor Red Devils. That should give them potential for overtime. But obviously, Guidance Gaming going to try and change that. Get a successful attack off here would be pretty awesome. They're going to be also adjusting their attack strategy. They will be pushing from construction, as clearly displayed by the Seeing and Thermite working their way in through the construction tunnel.
Yeah, look at the Doc, how close he is, though. He can go for a quick peek against the Ying, as he does hear the drone being used. I'll just fall back. Okay, smart play here from Red Devils. They want to play from the back of the site. There's a minute left. They can still use their big advantage, which is the Echo. And Plush now in the meantime, looking in to lock down any rotations. Velvet will land one on to Miracle. At least take one out. That's the Ying. That's the important part of the push. Now out of play. Huge pick here for the Mira of Velvet. And this might switch the entire round to the hands of Red Devils with 40 seconds left on the clock. Plush will have to land these crossbow bolts so perfectly they even kill a person, because this is going to be very difficult to recover from. First smoke will come in, as well as the asphyxiating bolt. Acnite will come in, but already 2 players lost here on the side of Guidance. Make that 3 with only High alive. I don't think he's going to be able to ride that one, as the C4 will connect from VNX from downtown. And Guidance will lose out on this attack. Not a great plan here for the attack on to the basement from construction. Unfortunately, losing the literal linchpin of your attack early on doesn't help now, does it?
Yeah, and of course what What Gassan is talking about is that ying. You need those candelas if you're going to be going for a construction push. And if you don't have the candelas, I mean, you need a glass to see through your smokes. You need some kind of tool, a blitz to rush into your opponents and disrupt the whole hold. No matter what, you need a tool to forcibly insert yourself into that back take.
Yeah.
Because attacking from construction is not easy. It's really difficult. We see it so rarely be successful. And it's never successful if the attacking team, well, okay, never is a bit strong. It is even more rare if the attacking team doesn't have one of those tools, if they don't have a glass, if they don't have a ying, if they don't have a blitz, if they don't have something to push their way in that the defenders cannot somehow negate.
Yeah. And that's why we wouldn't really recommend aggressive back pushes. They don't work out
True
too
construction.
often. Yes, they require, as you mentioned, specialized operators, disruptors that come in. You know, Monty, a blitz, a ying. Those operators that can really force the attention of the defenders onto them whilst their teammates come in. But you also need some sort of hold from opposite ends of the map. You can't force 5 players down a narrow choke point and just hope and pray that things will work. It just doesn't really pan out that way, especially when C4s are involved.
Yeah. Something quite surprising, of course, going on at the same time as these matches is the European Challenger League playoffs, and I believe we're in the semis for them right now. But we have Train Hard Esports going up against going up against ENCE Gaming right now, and ENCE Esports, I suppose. And it's actually a 4-4 on the 3rd map in that series. So there is a strong possibility we might not see ENCE even make it into the finals of the playoffs. That is very scary if it were to happen, because they've been practicing hardcore to get into Pro League once more, and their hopes and dreams might be shut down in the next few minutes. So a really important match going on right now for ENCE if you care about them. Of course, that is available to everybody, I believe, on the Rainbow6_UK channel if you want to watch it.
And it's a 6 with an SIX.
Yes,
not,
instead of the number. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, in this match, also a very important one, this is the finals of the LATAM instead of the semis of the playoffs. We have RDevilS still on the back foot, but they've managed to fight back with that successful basement hold. And as we said, we expected them to be successful on the basement, but now they have to be successful on the top floor, which every time they have gone to this top floor, they have failed to hold it. It's been something that Guidance Gaming have really been able to pull out of the bag every single time. You know, whether they get lucky or it's well-coordinated attack is really up to you. I mean, that miracle push we saw by Miracle through the smoke, that probably shouldn't have been successful, but he got a 3K off of it, so...
It works, but should it have... You know, you mentioned that he basically caught the Legion off guard when he was reloading.
Yeah.
You can't really plan for that.
I mean, imagine he's ADS'd on the smoke expecting somebody to push through, and you just die.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and
then the round is the defense.
And our conversation would be completely different in that situation, I guess. But, you know, here, Guidance doing a lot of damage, actually. Velvet pretty darn low here on health. There's 50 seconds left, and Miracle has, of course, gone around for the G8. Gives him a lot more potential firepower, and there you go. It's being used, put to use instantly. They take down the Mira. There is a Valkyrie camera here to give information on the IQ, and this should be a free kill for Midi, as the IQ will get taken down. Miracle is on the floor. We're getting closer and closer to potential overtime here, Michael, as smokes will get lobbed in. Aconite will have to go for a quick plant behind the reinforced wall. I'm not sure there was a Mira window, as Highs will get one, 3v3, and the C4s will miss. Diffuser's been planted, and there's still one more Firebolt in use. Perfect play here from Guidance Gaming on the attack, using everything to their advantage. Mirror window was indeed in that position, but that's the power of the smoke that we were mentioning. Aconite will hold a long angle into the hallway here as he'll flash in. Vitzo, in the meantime, will get one to try and open things up here for the hallway, but it's VNX that somehow wins the fight. Highs is the last man alive, and he has... Oh, no! Vitz will come in and clean it up. Unfortunate, as he wasn't able to rappel fast enough onto the roof. And that'll be the round for RDevilS to take it into overtime.
So, of course, if you're wondering what the Thatcher was thinking there, he was trying to get to the roof because he could have denied the diffuser safely from the roof.
Yes.
But he made the mistake of lingering on his rappel for far too long. He was on that balcony for like 10,
solid
15 seconds, 20 seconds maybe, yeah. I mean, whatever the case, he had an abundance of time to go to the roof, but he waited to the very last moment to attempt it, and it cost his team the round. He could have single-handedly denied the defuse disable and won the round there.
Now, one thing, you mentioned the UCL Playday. I will mention as well that ENCE and Trainhard is the first game. Empire played against N Gaming, so our Russian and Italian teams, and Empire, expected, I guess, will 6-1 and then 6-0 end.
So, yeah, I wanted
to get to the final.
We haven't talked that much about Empire,
Holy crap!
But they are right now. Everybody looking at European Challenger League was like, oh, ENCE is going to be the dominant team. They're going to be the #1. Everybody's going to be talking about ENCE. They're going to get into Pro League for sure. But right now, ENCE is stuck in a heated battle in the semis of the playoffs to get to the finals to potentially still go into Pro League. And it could not. They could lose. They could lose right now on the third and final map. It's so close. And Team Empire, as a team in Challenger League, are absolutely dominant. I think the only sure thing out of European Challenger League right now is Team Empire.
Yes. I think they're absolutely insane.
They came out of nowhere too. They are destroying everyone in EU Challenger.
Obviously, they were known. We did see them playing in the past, but you know.
But they weren't playing to this caliber.
Not this good, and even on LAN. Hey, we saw them at Eurocup, and they were pretty dominant in there.
Yeah. So Team Empire, something to look out for in the European Challenger League. Team ENCE, a squad that's been around for a long time and expected to make it into Pro League, but a little bit shaky right now. And that's, of course, all going on. The first match for Empire already transpired. Second match for ENCE still going on, if I'm not mistaken. But here in the finals for Latin America, we have an equally close match. And it will be 5-5 on the first map. So GG managed to get attack on overtime first. There's no clear favorite in terms of attack or defense on this map. Yeah, it's Oregon.
It depends on the site.
But the basement is basically a free defense win. And so because of that, we see...
we just got it. ENCE just won their game against Trainhard. 6-4 on border. Close matchup, which means ENCE get to play Empire in the grand final of EUCL.
Yeah.
So that is confirmed. One of those teams will automatically make it into Pro League, but we get back into the game here with 2 minutes already. Checklist done for guidance on the attack.
So, drop-downs opened. Ying still in play for Guidance Gaming. Very important. They have also brought a glass. They are trying to compound their advantages. Everything they could possibly have. If they don't have the Ying, maybe the Ying dies early, they still have the glass to see through the smokes. They're trying to keep the dream alive with these tools. Alpha holding the flank right now, wary of the Jaeger who is flanking from tower. There's 2 claymores on this doorway. They're doubling up. They don't want to get flanked right now. RDevilS are trying to flank, so that's very good that GG has everything in mind.
Wouldn't the claymore, like, one nullify the other and they would instantly blow up together?
Well, not in this game, but in real life, I don't know.
It's a real life simulator. I don't know what you're talking about, Michael. Alpha will run into sight though, and he'll get a freebie here on VNX. The second one, third one, Alpha! Impact frags. As you would say, Vitz is moving in, but Miracle is ready for him. And all up to Midi here as he tries to find the long angle against Guidance, but it's already a 4v1. And all will be trained on him as they know exactly where he's coming from. The Thermite will do a lot of damage, and Aconite will clean it up. Finally, we got a push down into the basement that works out as planned, and perfectly timed attacks, perfectly timed utility. This is how you should be doing it.
Absolutely agree with you there. Well done to the attack there. That was, of course, the first successful attack onto the basement executed by Guidance Gaming. It looks like we will have a rehost for the second time in this first map. So the excitement will take a brief intermission, and we'll get back to this match as soon as possible.
Yeah, 6-5 in our very first map on Oregon. Remind you, there's 2 more maps coming after this. I believe Border will be our second one.
You're correct.
So, you know, we at least get to see action on there. But with how close our first map is, there's a possibility of a map 3 as well.
I mean, we're talking about border here. Again, Red Devils did lose their match on, or their map on border in the previous match they played in the semifinals against Yeah Gaming, and Guidance managed to win theirs against SG. So, yeah, Guidance definitely looks stronger on border just leading into it, but practice can be executed by both teams. They had time between this, the semis and the finals.
Yeah, they had around 3.5 days.
Yeah, so they had good period to practice on border, and Red Devils might be able to show us something new there and pull out a win from their second attempt at border in a row.
Yeah, we'll get to see how that goes. Right now, it's a 6-5.
We're in favor of Guidance.
Yeah, in favor of Guidance, and we are in overtime. Remind you, this is not your standard best-of-1, 5-5 ties. For Pro League, this is different. They play in the regular playoff season in that way. However, during the final playoffs in the bracket with the 4 top teams, you have to play best-of-3s, and that's where it really starts to heat up. Because remember, you win this game, you're automatically in Pro League.
Just like that.
If you lose, you play Pain Gaming. If you beat them, you're in Pro League. If you lose, tough luck. You'll be back in Challenger League next season.
Yeah, and 2 chances to get into Pro League.
Yes.
That's pretty strong. I mean, you can't argue that that you didn't. If you lose 2 matches in a row, then yeah, okay, maybe you shouldn't be in Pro League.
Yeah, I guess that's a very good point.
Yeah. So right now it looks like Guidance Gaming are in the driver's seat. They managed to win an attack onto the basement, the very first attack onto the basement. That's the big deal, because now they transition over to defense and they get to defend the basement. And if they are successful, as they have been in the past, then they will go to map number 2 in high spirits and already 1 map ahead, possibly in a position to lock it out there and not even go to the 3rd of Clubhouse.
Yeah, so we're just setting up our lobby here. Is again the new lobby system that we've had for quite a few months at this point. Allows us to enter data for every single round, and we can hop in with all the data being saved. We don't have to rehost just playing, 3 random rounds like we did in the past.
Thank you, Ubisoft.
Thank God for that.
Thank you, Ubisoft.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was rough. I remember. I mean, there's been so many little jumps we've had for not only custom matches, but like the spectator mode and everything like that, where it's gone from, oh wow, this is a pain, to, oh wow, this is so much easier.
Yes.
I mean,
so, to Antoine and Emilien, thank you. Please. This was great.
Yeah. I mean, there's actually been a lot of that. I mean, we look back at Old Siege, and a lot of people reminisce, and they're like, "Oh, it was not
better.
It was
look,
it was so bad."
You know what I came up on? I came up a few of the year 1 VODs. I mean, we were at the Paris Major. We were sitting after having guns.
This.
Yeah, we got some food, and we just went back to the hotel, and we were sitting down, and we're just watching a few VODs preparing for the next day, and lo and behold, year 1, season 1, and season 2 VODs are showing up in my YouTube recommended list.
Yeah.
So we go through them. It's Orbit playing his ult team, and it's Oregon, and you go into floor mode, and you're like, what is this? My eyes are on fire.
Do you remember when I showed you that match I played against Serenity's team on Favela?
Yes.
Yeah, that was
fun.
What? I don't even know what that was. Like, you look back on this stuff, and it's like, wow, man, how far we've come. Like, the level of play we're seeing from these teams right now, and these are top-level Challenger League teams out of Latin America. And, yeah, they've got a lot of talent. They've got a lot of skill. They lack experience, but they've got a lot of talent. But the level of play we're seeing from these teams is like leagues ahead of where Pro League was back at like season 1, 2, and back in the beginning.
Yeah, like year 1, season 3 is when things really started.
Yeah, because I mean that's where Biggity Boop Bop came, and then they turned into Continuum, and that turned into Evil Geniuses, and they were the team for North America. I mean, before that we had my team, which was like Orbit, which is now known as Rogue, and we were okay. We were on like the precipice of being a good team, but then sudden shift, and now Biggity Boop Bop takes all the momentum, and they surge into the forefront for North America, and that's still the only success North America's had was that season 3 and the Invitational. Other than that, we really haven't been able to push forward and get those wins.
I mean, you're technically both EU and NA, right?
I mean, citizenship-wise, sure, yeah. Technically, British American.
More American than British, I guess.
Raised in America, born in Britain. Yeah. But I mean, like I don't root for either side, to be honest. You know, it's for me, it's all esports, and I'm happy to see it. But I'm just saying we've come a long way. That's the point I was trying to get at.
As long as the teams get better and we get a better showing and more advanced strategies and communication and teamwork being played in Pro League, that's all we need.
Yeah,
let's be honest here. It's we get the proper enjoyment of being some of the first people that actually get to see what's happening on the screen before everybody else gets to see it. So the better the plays are, the better. I guess
not that long before everybody else gets to see it.
A few minutes. It's more than enough.
Hey, I guess it counts. You could say, yeah.
Yeah, 4.5 minutes online.
Yeah. Well, I think that's also longer than it used to be. Wow, so far we've come. But yeah. So we're just waiting for everybody to get back into the lobby. I think we went for a full rehost there, so it took a little bit longer than usual.
Yeah, because it was overtime. You have to re-enter the whole data, so you have to rehost from scratch.
Yeah. Overtime kind of messes it all up, but we'll get it done and we'll get it going.
Players are in here, so I guess we're just waiting on the okay from the admins and from a spectator, and we should be ready to go. Remind you, this is still map number 1, Oregon. There's still border confirmed. Yeah. Map 2, we're in overtime. There's our 2 best-of-3s. You win, you make it to Pro League. Stakes are pretty high. There's a big difference in terms of prize pool and prize money and your possible organization. You know, like what you can get out of your position in Pro League is miles beyond CL.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You win one of these 2 matches, whether you're Red Devils, Guidance Gaming, or no, I guess not really Pain. Pain has everything to lose, but Red Devils and Guidance Gaming both have a lot to win here. So if either of them manage to get the win and they move into Pro League, then what happens is their positions in life get considerably better. Like, and of course we can't talk to the specifics because we don't know as their business, but you can say easily from an outside perspective that that's them making their careers. Yeah, that's huge for them, no matter what. And on top of that, it also opens them up to, you know, I hate to say it because it almost sounds malicious in a way, but that opens them up to bringing on players that maybe can shore up some of the lesser players on their teams. You know, we don't know the details of these squads. We don't know who the weak links are just yet, and you know, whichever ones make it into Pro League, we'll start to learn that over time. But you know, there are a lot of free agents in Latin America who are really talented, and that can better your squad quite a bit.
Yeah, we already saw 9XT actually being picked up yet again a few weeks ago in Latin America, and he was a free agent. He went around to play, you know, games and came back, and he still retains that same level of skill, and that's something that you're always looking for. Free agents are underestimated, and NA is about to have quite a few. We'll see on Monday. Anyways, before that, we'll get into game Oregon. It is potential map victory here for Guidance, and they're playing on the defense. Unfortunately, the last round did not really go the way of Red Devils, so they're going to have to play this here on the attack, and they're going to have to attack Kids' dorms, and they'll be bringing the Maverick in here. Maverick, we've seen. I don't think we've seen him played once in this matchup.
No, we haven't. He has strangely been absent despite not being banned. I suppose he's not that powerful on Oregon, all things considered. But you don't have a Habana, which means you need Hard Destruction to open the drop-downs. You can only open 2 as a Thermite, so why not? And clearly that's the thought process going on here for Red Devils. Unfortunately for them, we're seeing a defense of the top floor first from Guidance Gaming. How strange. It must be a forced attempt at disrupting the Red Devils' attack strategy. But here's the curious thing. Yes, the Maverick is being brought. Yes, he's going to help opening drop-downs. But also at the same time, there's no smoke on Red Devils. Not one. And if Guidance Gaming were defending the basement...
Did they miss the patch notes from 2 months ago where on TS, Maverick lost smokes?
I mean, that was a pretty long time ago. I don't think that they missed that. No, I
certainly hope they did not.
I have a strong hunch that they know that Maverick doesn't have smokes. No matter the point I'm trying to get here is, if Guidance Gaming had gone to the basement, then they would have a very strong advantage. Attacking the basement without smokes is really difficult. I mean, even attacking the top floor without smokes is hard.
You still need. I mean, Mira's in play. Oh boy, here we go. You don't even need to worry about anything at this point. The Thatcher has been removed. There's going to be a lot of reliance here from Red Devils on the IQ to deal with the Bandit that probably has already set his batteries. And Miracle,
okay,
this is going to start up the run here again. That's now the IQ gone. Now you have to rely on the Buck. Finally, Miracle is going to get shot down. Midi running away from his own grenade there as the barricade should get destroyed. Velvet, in the meantime, looking in from the tower. And it's just, what has happened?
Well, Red Devils did manage to get 1 kill back. And it was onto, of course, Miracle, the Elysian. A very important kill. Means less traps, of course. But at what cost? And it's furthered by, the cost is furthered by Mini taking some damage there from Aconite, who is just waiting. Oh, the C4! Well placed, but not well enough. A little bit of damage done, but not enough to get a down or a kill. Midi walking away with 50 HP. After those bullets, and a little bit of, it wasn't much of a nudge from that C4. Velvet also going to get 1 onto Blush, so here we go. Red Devils have equalized, surprisingly. It looked like Guidance Gaming were well into the driver's seat, but it slipped away.
The question is, does the Bandit have C4 to play in here? And the Mira might get caught off guard by Velvet here on the Maverick, and that's why you bring the Maverick, is that, 1, it's very difficult to hear the breaching torch. Number 2, Bandit batteries do not affect him at all. Reinforcements are just, they're caramel. He goes through them super easy.
No, I was going to say butter, but caramel works.
Yeah, caramel.
Yeah, they're both. I mean, either way, basically, you got a lot of pressure that you can easily apply to Aconite. Luckily for Aconite, though, he's not actually playing his mirror window. It has just been broken, so I'm sure Aconite will be aware of the holes behind him, but he's getting aggressive onto his opponents. Finally, he will fall back to the kitchen. Red Devils, running low on time, is aware they need to start their push towards Armory. The camera, though, will give away this attempted push, and Aconite will be aware of the pressure he's feeling from the main lobby. And will just push his way further into the closet. This is very dangerous. In theory, the Maverick could still make a hole right behind him.
Yeah, but they also can have defenders from the top.
What? A huge mistake from Velvet. TKing onto Midi, and he will eat some damage as well as a down from Aconite. The round is over. Alpha gets the last kill. And what a throw. 7-5 in Guidance Gaming's favor.
That, I mean, there's... Oh, man.
Oh, boy, oh, man. I mean, they were coming back. Red Devils was coming back.
They had it.
They were 2 in a row. It looked like the push was good into the kitchen. Suddenly TK, and it all falls apart from there.
Unfortunate.